Sound is one of the most important elements of any video production, if that's film, TV or anything. It's essential that you don't have any echo or noise in the background of your audio, otherwise it'll sound horrible and very amateur. Remember, you can always add echo, but you cannot remove echo easily without it sounding a bit robotically and sounding a bit off. But if you do want echo within your audio, find a room that has an echo, and it always will sound better than adding it digitally, because adding digitally will never have the same effect of actually having a real echo. These panels are not only useful for studios or any room you wanting to film on location where you add these panels around the room to get rid of echo, they're also useful for hi-fi systems when you want to get that clean audio and no echo within that room to get the pure listening experience. Acoustic panels can be very expensive, but you can make them 12 times cheaper. Each panel that you'll be building is about £21 each. You'll need one pack of acoustic Rockwool. They come in packs of 12, 2 packs of wood, 15 centimeters of fabric of your choice on your colour, so make sure you don't have fabric that has too big of a holes in. I found linen was the best. 100% linen fabric will let that sound through, but it'll also seal your panels. Pack of screws, some staples and some eye hooks. It's very able to hang onto the wall. There's many ways to hang onto the wall. This is the way I did it. You could glue them. Because they're not that heavy, you only need a couple screws to actually hold them to the wall. 2 to 4. I used 4 just so they'll sit flush on the walls. Because my walls are slightly uneven, I used 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom to stick them to the wall. You could easily get away with 1 at the top and 1 at the bottom, or it's even 1. It depends how you wanted to hang them. Your first step is getting your frame ready and cutting the wood to size. You need to cut it 63mm at the top and 120 for the sides. For the wood I chose, you've got 3 pieces of tops and 2 sides exactly. By cutting the wood in half, you've got 2 sides exactly. Your 2 shorter bits will sit on top of your longer bits. You then staple them together to hold them together temporarily. If you want to make sure they're actually square, get a square, stick it into each 4 corners and then staple them together, and that will ensure that you've got a square frame. Now you need to drill 2 pilot holes at the end of your wood, and then you need to drill a countersink hole. Make sure your screw sits flush. Now screw into your screws in each 4 corners, and you now should have a frame that is sturdy enough to stand on its own. Make sure that you do not stand up your frame when you've got staples in, because it could break quite easily. Now you need to repeat this step 11 more times, so you have in total 12 frames. Once you've done this, you now need to get the fabric. You now need to apply the front layer of the fabric to your wood. Lay your frame onto your fabric and cut around it, leaving about 6 centimeters around all sides. If you put staples in the middle of each sides and work your way out to the corners, that should minimise any wrinkles that you get when making it. Remember not to pull too tight in the centre, otherwise your frame might warp a bit. You shouldn't have to do too many staples. Put a staple about every centimetre or so, and it should allow your fabric to be nice and tense. Because the fabric that I use is quite stretchy, it helped a lot getting rid of all the wrinkles. If the fabric that you have chosen is not stretchy, you may struggle a bit, so when you're choosing your fabric, make sure you get a fabric that's slightly stretchy, like linen that I got. This is very good because it allows sound and seals the frame. Once you've got your fabric applied to your frame, the frame should feel a lot more sturdier as it's nice and tense. If there is creases in it, it doesn't matter too much, but it's always best to try and work them out just to make the panel look a bit nicer and a bit more polished. If you do get any creases within the fabric, you need to remove the staples and reapply the staple by working that crease out. Once you've done that, you need to lay the panel onto the floor, get some gloves, get some masks and open your Rockwool. Simply just gently lay the Rockwool into the panel by pushing it down. Make sure you're wearing gloves and masks because it is Rockwool and the fibres can't escape whilst it's not covered. Then you need to cut another bit of fabric and layer it over your panel. You need to cut it again, leaving about 6 centimeters around all the sides. You need to fold the fabric back on yourself and staple it down, putting the staples right next to each other to make sure that there's no holes. There's no need to worry about any fibre escaping as long as you've sealed it correctly by just stapling around the sides to make sure there is no visible Rockwool. If you can see some Rockwool, make sure you cover that up with some sort of fabric, otherwise fibres will escape. The fabric will stop fibres from escaping, so there's no need to worry about any fibres within the air. If you're putting it onto the ceiling, I recommend putting some hooks into the back, getting a chain and another hook, put it onto the ceiling, and you can basically hook it to the ceiling with a slight air gap. To make these panels even more efficient, you can leave a little gap behind, so there's a little bit of wall gap, so any reflection off the wall will be stopped. Now to attach these to the wall, if you put some eye hooks at the bottom and top, and put a screw into the wall. Make sure you go over to make sure there's no wires there. Now depending on your type of wall, you need to use different screws. If you've got drywall, you need to use drywall screws. If it's brick wall, you need to use a plug and a normal screw, and that should be fine. You don't need too many, and the screws don't need to go too deep because they're very light panels, as mostly they're made of air to try and dampen the sound out. You can place these sound panels wherever you like and however you like. The most efficient way to apply these is put one at least on every wall and separate them evenly. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. If you like the video, give it a like. If not, give it a dislike. If you want to see more, click that subscribe button and the bell button to be notified whenever I upload.